October 6, 1998, Laramie, Wyoming. A young man is having drinks at the fireside lounge when two men around his age approach him. They would leave together. 18 hours later, a cyclist named Aaron Kafels would be riding his bike on the outskirts of town. He would happen upon what he thought at first was a scarecrow tied to the fence, but on closer inspection, he came upon the young man. Face bloody except for where the tears had washed away the blood. Left to die by two homophobic men who targeted him because he was gay. The young man was Matthew Shepard, and his tragic death in the late 90s would light a fire for LGBT rights in the coming decades. Matthew Shepard was born on December 1st, 1976 in Casper, Wyoming, to Dennis and Judy Shepard. He was an Episcopalian and even was an altar boy when he was a child. In elementary school, he was friendly and outgoing, but teased for being short. But as he grew, he was known to be a very optimistic and very kind person, passionate about equality and acceptance. In the late 90s, it was slightly taboo to be gay. Many jokes and stereotypes were lobbied against LGBT people. Matthew himself was openly gay. Matthew's life would change when in 1994 his father uprooted the family and moved to Saudi Arabia due to his job. But Matthew would attend school in Switzerland and graduated in 1995. After graduation, it seemed that he moved from college to college before attending the University of Wyoming in Laramie, where he was a political science major. Though a positive person by nature, he did suffer from depression according to his parents. It all stemmed from an incident in Morocco when he went there on a high school class trip. The incident I'm not going to say because I don't want my video age restricted. On October 6, 1998, Matthew Shepard went to the Fireside Lounge in Laramie, Wyoming to have a couple of drinks. Laying in wait for him was Russell Henderson and Aaron McKinney, two men with troubled home lives and drug addictions. McKinney and Henderson targeted Matthew Shepard to rob and pretended to be gay to earn his trust. They would also offer him a ride home, only to take him to the outskirts of town to enact their plans. They robbed him, even taking his shoes. They beat him, then tied him to a fence. Shepard was pistol whipped 21 times with a .357 Smith & Wesson. Henderson and McKinney had planned to steal from Shepard's home, but they wouldn't get that far because they ended up in a fight with two Hispanic youths. The fight would get Henderson arrested and McKinney's truck searched, where police found the blood-smeared pistol, Shepard's credit card, and his shoes. Later on, Henderson and McKinney would later get their girlfriends to lie for them and to help them dispose the evidence. 18 hours after his attack, Matthew Shepard would be found, still alive, but in a coma. The first officer on the scene was Reggie Flutie, who without gloves cleared Shepard's airway. What she didn't know was that he was HIV positive, a fact that Shepard's own parents wouldn't find out until he was at the hospital. Shepard lived for 6 days, but he would never wake up from his coma. Henderson and McKinney were immediately arrested along with their girlfriends. Henderson would plead guilty and receive a life sentence. The girlfriends were charged with accessory after the fact. McKinney, a major homophobe, decided to test his luck with the criminal justice system. His lawyer tried to use the gay panic argument, but the judge rejected the argument based on the evidence. McKinney owes his life to Shepard's parents. Both of them fought to actually make sure he received 2 consecutive life sentences. In the years, Henderson has talked about how he thinks of Shepard all the time and he has remorse for his actions.
So ashamed that I was ever a part of this. He was a human being. He was a son, he was a brother, he was a friend. He had many people that loved him, and his life mattered. And I think about Matthew every single day of my life.
McKinney, though, is without remorse and continues to be a homophobe to this day. Judy and Dennis Shepard started the Matthew Shepard Foundation, a charity that spreads education, advocacy, and outreach to LGBT plus people. A play was written by Moses Kaufman called The Laramie Project, which depicts the murder and the community's response to it. On October 28, 2009, President Obama signed into law the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act, a law that expands hate crime laws to include crimes motivated by a victim's actual or perceived gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability. October 26, 2018, Shepard's ashes were moved and interred in the crypt of the Washington National Cathedral. And in June of 2019, Matthew Shepard was honored and inducted as one of the 51st inductees on the National LGBTQ Wall of Honors within the Stonewall National Monument in New York City. Matthew Shepard left a legacy that inspired many to take up activism and try to move the country forwards. To be honest, I wish that he could be alive today to see what has been done in his name. He was loved. He was a son, a brother, and a friend of many. Remember the name of Matthew Shepard.